Hey everybody, I hope that you enjoyed that turnaround there of the Jabber Scythe for my Beastmen army. I wanted to do a quick hobby update today on both some of the Warhammer stuff that I'm doing, like the Jabber Scythe that I showed at the beginning of the video, as well as AD&D Battle Systems, and a little shout out to the AD&D Battle Systems today too. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that turnaround. The Jabber Scythe was fun to paint. Not really a very tremendously difficult model to paint, and I think, you know, it's one of those things where I'm really happy with the way it came out, but sometimes, sometimes easy doesn't necessarily mean, worse, or I should say, you know, sometimes simple is very effective is the better way to say it, I guess. You know, I ended up using initially on the wings some speed paints and airbrushing to get the initial look that I wanted, and then washes. A lot of the base on this was initially dry brush and airbrush and speed paint, but then after that I went back to some traditional painting methods to get to, you know, for different areas that I wanted to alter and things like that. And then I used some different kinds of varnish, like gloss. It mainly has a matte varnish all over it, but then I also have gloss on the horns and the fingernails or claws, I should say. And so I'm really happy with this one. Looking forward to fielding this one on the table. Beastmen don't oftentimes have a lot of flying stuff, and so adding some flying stuff to my army will be nice. I've been mostly painting orcs and goblins and starting to field orcs and goblins lately after doing a lot of beastmen last year, but I certainly will go back to beastmen at times this year, and I will likely try to include this one right away just to see how it adds into things after having used a lot of my other stuff. And the Beastmen Army book is coming out soon, which I'm really happy about that, and it'll be interesting to see. We'll come back to Warhammer in a little bit, but I'm going to just talk about AD&D Battle Systems for a second. I put up my Bullywugs, which are kind of like Toadmen for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, on the Facebook page. And they came out really dark, and part of it was I took some photos with showing the white part of my photo booth, not just the black background, so it adjusted it all darker. I didn't even really realize it. They're not incredibly bright, but they're actually a lot brighter than what they look like online. These are crystal... Oh, what are they called? Something light. Crystal... Silver light? Silver light, I think, is the name of it. I was going to call it Crystal Light, the drink. Kind of shows my age a bit. I don't know if they still make that. Basically... These guys came out nice. I had my first game, and Bullywugs did pretty well. It was just a test game with my friend Mark and I, and it was fun. It was actually a lot of fun. I printed my own 3D bases for this, and then just used Vallejo's diorama or gray sand on it, and then, you know, just kind of painted it and washed it and stuff, and it came out, looks like they're walking in mud, I think, which is cool, because they're meant to be like swamp denizens. I'm going to mix in, I have lizardmen to do as my next contingent like this next, but the next thing that I think I'll do is, this is Hecatron, who is basically a Ralpartha miniature from the early 80s, and he was actually used for a legitimate scenario they wrote up for D&D, and he's a fire giant. And, you know, he's really pretty small, but I think for 15 mil, he's perfect. And so I am going to paint this guy up as a legitimate fire giant. And then I also have a hill giant here, also Ralpartha. This one you can still buy on the website. And so I think it's Ironwind that it's on. But I actually got this one, an older version. It was an older pack. But you can still buy this one. I think it'll be great hill giant. I could use a hill giant either for a good army or bad army, I think. You could justify it. The fire giant seems more of a baddie, but who knows? I am going to do that and get to the lizardmen fairly soon, but I have some Warhammer painting. Before I go to that, the shout out I wanted to talk about is we have a little group, you know, starting Battlesystems. I actually bought the rulebook back in 1989, and I've never played the game until this week. My friend Mark and I were wanting to start playing it. I enjoyed the first game we played because it's just a different kind of game than Warhammer Fantasy. It's clearly very different, so it's just interesting to try something that is built around a totally different structure than Warhammer Fantasy. And it's an old game too, so it's really neat. Mark has actually created a Facebook page called AD&D Battle System Miniature Rules and Skirmish. And the reason he created this is that he couldn't find anything for it, because now we know there are people that do play it, and there are people on my channel in the past that have piped in a couple of serious comments, like really talking a lot about it. And we were really hoping to not only just engage the folks locally that are going to be playing it, but perhaps have a place where people can ask questions and converse about the rule set. And so for any of you out there that are interested and like the game, or even just want to learn more about it, on Facebook, AD&D Battle System Miniature Rules and Skirmish, the group, feel free to put in an invite and join the group. And and so that will be neat. So in addition to the Lizardman and the two giants that I painted, I'm going to be doing some Warhammer up next. All of this is before I start doing my not sharp practice, but silver bayonet painting that I talked about. But I'm going to do some orc stuff. Now, one thing is I just put a 3D printed video out on Friday. But I have this Foot of Gork, which is kind of funny. I actually printed this with my filament printer. And so it's pretty tough, like it's a hard, but I actually used that cheaper resin that I did a video on and primed this. And so this is meant to be for the spell, Foot of Gork, and it'll just be so much fun to just throw this down on the table. So whether it's killing my own orcs, which oftentimes I think happens, kills your own orcs and goblins, or whether it flies through and kills the enemy, it'll be great to have this. Many of you that are into Warhammer Fantasy may have seen this kind of already. But I enjoyed printing this, and I'm going to look forward to painting it now. And as well, looking at just doing some black orcs. I think in order to get my orc army to where I have the foundation where I needed to, I would like to have 20 black orcs painted up of my, like, I think I would say 40 plus that I have available. I'm going to do Grimgore, I believe. I've already started just putting some green on him, but I'm going to finish this guy so I have a non-wyvern mounted boss, because I love using my wyvern mounted black orc boss, but sometimes I might not want to. And then lastly, the bigger thing is that I'm going to be doing another 20. And so I have some plastic ones that are basically the same, and just to get, or I should say another 10. Just to get my guys up to 20 and do another 10 without having to do another full command, I'm going to do Grimgore, but I'm going to do actually 10 where I do 7 of these metal ones like this. I'm going to leave the command out and do 3 plastics to just have them in there to get up to 20, to get my total up to 20. And then I have a bunch of metal ones with two-handed that I'll do in the future. But right now, I just want to get my Black Orcs up to 20. And then down the road, I'll look at 30 and 40 and just keep going. But after these, I have things that I'm thinking about, like nasty skulkers and catapults and chariots and other things that I want, goodness that I want to add to my orcs and goblins. So I have a lot of interesting painting to do. And then I have to mix in, some historical stuff and semi-historical stuff that I want to actually paint as well. So that's kind of what's up for me in the near future, and I hope things are well with you folks and that you have enjoyed your Easter weekend, because by the time this comes out, it should be already past. And talk to you folks later.